hello my fellow caramellers, how you doing today? I was digging through my stash and I pulled out a kit that I kind of want to talk about, and I've never brought up before on this channel. Is this one right here, and it has been started, and I want to just show you a couple things about this kit. That getting in there and looking at what I had started playing with back when this kit came out, I really like this kit. Every time I see one built, I always gravitate to it when I'm at a model show or when I get posts on any of the Facebook groups. I don't know, man. It's pretty cool. Let's look at it. All right, so real quick, get what I want to show you. I was building it pretty much what they give you. Building a drag car, of course. Changing a couple of things about it. You know, just making it my own. But just to give you a good look of it. Let's see. I have it kind of mocked up here. The rear end. I haven't done anything out of the ordinary or anything to really change it much. I'll show you in a little bit. I was making a roll cage for it. I put some subframe connectors on it. Funny thing is yeah, I probably started building this, I don't know, when it came out in the early part of last decade, what, 2010, 11 when it came out? Let's see if it says on the box. Oh wow, it was 2014. Not as long as I thought, but it was a couple of years before I owned a Foxbody Mustang, so I didn't know a lot about them, but I liked them. But when this kit came out, and before that, and I was playing with, they came out with the first version, which was the one with that you could build the police car. So that was an SSP notchback. Then they came out with this cool drag racer version that I ended up having. I don't know, I got about 3 of these kits because heck yeah, I wanted to build a drag race car. I always thought they made really cool drag race cars. Anywho, doing some modifications. You can see up in there, I was kind of grinding in. It even went through a little. You can see we'll have to patch that up, but I was grinding some room in there, wanting to fit bigger tires because I don't have them, I don't think. But let's look. I took some tires. Not even, I think these are actually the tires from the Revell Willys Gasser. I always like those drag tires. They are like really perfect stock eliminator tires, which is kind of not really a stock eliminator I was building, just kind of a class racer of some sort. As you can see, this tire is kind of beefier. Here's the tire that comes with this kit. This is probably the weakest point of this kit, in my opinion. Which these are the wheels that come in the kit. Some really nice drag stars. I know these are very popular with a lot of people. I hear them talk, they want some drag stars, but nobody thinks about these that are in this kit. Which it's 5 lug. I'm kind of bummed about that. I wish they would have done a cool 4 lug like Mini Light. I think that's something that's needed with the Foxbody Mustang builders. A lot of the drag cars would just leave the 4 lug that came, you know, from the factory. It's not really proven to be anything weaker. But of course, a lot of people who get these cars, one of the first mods they do is put a 5 lug conversion. But I just thought it would have been more unique for this particular car. But whatever. It's cool that we got a cool drag star. The wheels and tires, like fairly recently, I don't know, the past decade or so, Revell has been very weak in the wheel and tire area. Their tires are always really small. Wheels are odd. They have these wheels that they give you hollow tires, and then the wheels fit into the tires, and that's cool. It kind of fills the tire out a bit the way they designed them. Right here, you see how the wheel, you know, you can see how they got this step, and of course to fit it into this, because this was a solid tire, I had to grind this all down, and I'll have to do it to this one. But they're designed to pop right in. They look good, and I get it, but it's just, that tire's so weak. That's what you get in the kit. What would you pick? So you grind it down. So it makes, you know, with these ribs right here. So that's something. That's not a big deal. That's a very good wheel. They did a very nice wheel. But I also got from the parts box, my tire parts box, these cool front runners, because they just kind of give you street wheels, regular street tires that to use for your front runners, which don't look that good. So let's do a quick little mock-up of the stance that I was going for. That would sit right there. I kind of jacked to make room in here, of course, and I just wanted that tire to, I kind of want to go a little farther. It still sticks out a little bit too much, but it's really kind of the look I wanted, where it's just tucked under the wheel well there. But I had to do some work and added to the spring. I added a little nub up on top of the spring to lower this rear end. And I can tell by things, if I was to build it now, being more involved in Fox bodies and stuff, I actually would have done my subframe connectors a little different, but that doesn't matter. Subframe connectors, like what I put in my real car now, and all these torque boxes, reinforcements, you have all that. They usually do a lot of modifications and have longer, what they call full frame or full length subframe connectors that go all the way, weld up here and go all the way down there. But I'm not going to mess with it. I got my subframe connectors in there. Been working on getting rid of ejector pin marks and whatnot. But let's do a mock up here. We got the chassis in there good. And this is how nice this kit fits. That's, you know, nothing. I don't even have anything white glued. Look at how everything kind of fits together. The interior's in there. We'll get to that roll cage here in a minute, but let's just do the mock-up. That's where that would go. This tire would go right about there. Let's get my fat finger out of the way, see if I can just give you the look. Come on, close. I think that is just a cool looking drag car right there. Now I want to get back on this and push everything I'm working on aside. One of my forgotten projects. And now I know there was a lot of criticism when this kit came out. A lot of people felt that, and a lot of people that own Fox bodies even felt that this roof was too low. And I know there's been some conversion resins that raise the roof up and stuff. I think there's an optical illusion going on. This is, again, my opinion. Yeah, I do agree. Something is a little off. Sometimes this model just looks perfectly fine to me. Sometimes I catch something in my eye. I'm really not sure what it is, but it does seem like the roof, it almost looks like a chop top or something's off. But kind of from now that I'm a Fox body owner for like almost 8 years now, I think I see where Revell messed up a little. I think this, where the door is, I think the door is just a smidge too high. I don't think this is off, and I'll tell you why. I think that the door line and this line, I think that basically the side glass should have been just slightly, I mean ever so such, down a little bit farther. This line right here that comes from the A-pillar and swoops down, I think is a little more of a swoop down on the real car. And I just think that just creates a little bit of an optical illusion where it has a chop top to it, but it really doesn't. Because I did a conversion I'm working on, wanting to build my car, and I wanted it to base it off of this kit, that I took the AMT 88 Mustang, and I was fitting a part of the roof and the deck lid and all this area here to make a hatchback. And it fit perfect. I mean, the deck lid and the roof line and everything all fit. So the difference between here and here, or this being too low, I just don't think it. I don't think that's it. I think we have a little bit of an optical illusion. I think this is too high. This should have come down a little bit. And looking at the AMT kit, I could kind of see that, and kind of studying my own car in my garage. I'm going to have some people that are going to disagree with me. The percentage of this makes up too much of the car. It should be a little lower. And I'm not bagging Revell. I'm thrilled that Revell put this out, because this was a subject matter that was wanted for a long time in the hobby. And now that I am really into these cars, I'm so glad. Even though I like hatchbacks better. But these make cool drag cars. They're very popular for drag cars. Let's get another look at that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So I'm going to pop this apart and just want to show you one more thing I was doing to it. And also back to the chassis. Another thing, now that I know a little more about these cars, I'm probably going to do some modifications to these lower control arms and upper control arms, which are incredibly detailed and accurate for what came from the factory. But no drag car at this level would even run those. They would have aftermarket, more solid lower control arms and the upper control arms. There's a little bit different suspension modifications they would do back there that I'm going to probably do. Because this is all mocked together. It's not, it's just really taped in right there, lightly glued. So yeah, it's actually, the fit is so, it's just fitted. That's pretty cool. Yeah, there's no glue or whatever. Cool. I'm probably gonna change those up, but that'll be for another time.
You're watching the Luka C channel on YouTube.
Here is my roll cage. I think I'm going to go on and make the upper halo and then the A-pillar bars too. I want to put a full roll cage in this because a car like this would have it. But that's so cool. Look at that interior. I just loved how Revell would do separate door panels, a floor, inner fender wells, and stuff, all the engine bay right here. That's a neat way of tooling up a model. It gives you so much opportunity and room for modifications to make whatever you want, whatever kind of car you want. This is incredibly accurate. Nowadays, my better knowledge about these cars and being able to go out in my garage and play with one and look at one, this engine bay is dead nuts on. I gotta say, this is a really cool kit. I had kind of forgotten about it because I hadn't really opened the box and looked at this in a while. This is a trick to get back together. Everything fits so amazingly good. How you can put this thing together and to mock up and everything. Look under the hood here. Everything lines up and fits perfect. Incredible. Just a very well tooled model kit. If you haven't ever built one of these, or you've heard bad stuff about it so you never got it, I think you need to reconsider. This is a very, very nice model kit. It makes a really cool drag car pretty much out of the box. Change the tires, use the kit wheels, just doing a little bit of this and that, adding some Plastistruct just to make it work. They did a really good job. Look at that. You can see that cage that's in there is the kit cage. I didn't make that, so I'm not going to take credit for that. But also something I forgot. It's been a while since I've looked at this car. Let's move this out of the way. I got a couple of cool things to show you that Revell added to this version of the kit. Some really cool race parts that are so right on, man, that especially a lot of you Foxbody Mustang owners will really appreciate that they really did it right. Let's first look at the engine. They give you an option of shorty headers. There's the factory headers, because these cars came from the factory with headers, but they were kind of, they weren't the best where you could have the aftermarket ones, and these look a lot better than factory. But you also have, looks like a beefy distributor there, like an Excel distributor or a Mallory distributor. But this is really the cool thing. Look at that with the Edelbrock on there. An Edelbrock intake, the 5.0 fuel injection intake, just basically aftermarket version of the factory one. They also give you that. That's a really cool option for building a race car. And they give you this racing exhaust. You got some, looks like just some little glass packs. I know this was a real popular H-pipe type deal, the box right there. Yeah, this is all aftermarket because this is all where the catalytic converters would go on the stock exhaust, and you're totally eliminating it. And look at the rear end girdle, strengthened up for racing. Unbelievable. This was a real cool thing that they did. Look at that. I had to do some modifications because I'm running a different wheel back on it, but yeah, the tubular cross member with tubular control arms, and that's what they look like for real. And this is the mount for the engine, and it comes with a pair of Kirky seats, which are just dynamite looking. Beautiful drag race Kirky seats. We don't have enough of these. I don't think they've ever been in any other kit. So I'll tell you drag racers, and you might have drag race modelers, you might have not been interested in this kit. It might be great to pick up for some of the parts. There's a nice wing that fits right on there. I was already test fitting it before. Fits on there really nice. Gives you a really cool look. Yeah, this was something that was so cool that I wish Revell would do more of. That they really did take their time in researching the racers of these cars and seeing what they were putting on their cars. This was a total shocker. Never would have imagined that they would have done the tubular cross member with the control arms and everything. This is something very, very popular with the Foxbody racing community. All these things are very popular items with the racing community with Fox bodies. Amazing. And quick, let's look at the decal sheet, which is so cool. Which is a neat graphic, very basic. You can almost use it with any color you want. And I like Notch. That's cool looking. New York. That might be what I put on this one. But that's pretty cool. I never tried those out. I usually try to do that grime effect from the drag slicks that go behind right here. I might try that out on this just to see what it looks like. Who knows? Beautiful little contingency decals. Of course, the gauges, and there's a couple. Oh yeah, we got some racing gauges, a few other things. The trick flow decal. Yeah, that is a super nice decal sheet. It's got all your racy stuff on it. So that's it. That's this kit. I just wanted to take a look at it. I want to get back on this. This is coming along really cool. Very simple build. Very low on the modifications need to be done to build this type of racer from that you want to do of a Fox body. Just had to do most of my modifications right in there in that wheel well just to get the bigger tire in there, because I just can't do the smaller tire. It's just way too thin. It would sit right about there. That's way too small. But yeah, this has been something. Every time I go to model show, there's at least somebody who has built one of these, and I get attracted to them. I go and I look at them. I just like Fox body race cars, always have. Just a neat looking car. I was always intrigued with them even when I was a big Camaro guy. That's why I finally ended up with one. It was always on my mind to own one. For the longest time, they were cheap as anything, and like they used to call them, it was a lazy poor man's race car. You could literally buy them and start running them completely stock. They were a heck of a performer for back in the day. The engine came from the factory with factory headers. The fuel injection system was really cool and very moddable. The exhaust system, as you can see, it bolted apart so much. It was so easy to put aftermarket exhaust in there piece by piece. And the engine from the factory had a roller cam. It has a roller cam. So you really can do a lot of bolt-on mods and go racing and perform pretty consistently to do some cool bracket racing, which I always wanted to do with my car, was planning on it. I had done some things to it. And then the powers that be in my town have decided to close every drag strip and every circle track and everything that has to do with racing in my wonderful town no more racing. One of the biggest racing towns in the country, had a ton of tracks, has no more of nothing anymore, which is so sad. So that's it. Never got to take my car out and run it, so I just play around with it, driving down the street in my neighborhood. Anywho, so I'm going to thank you all for watching. We've got a few more videos coming out, cool stuff to show you. And if there's some of my Luka C products that you've been wanting to get a hold of, we just restocked Andy's HHQ with a few items. And there are a couple of, as of right now when I'm shooting this, and probably you're watching it if it's only been up for a few hours, I have stocked a couple of those 74 Camaro kits. I think I got my problem with my tail lights taken care of. Here's one of them right here. I am continuing with the red, doing them in clear. This is the bad one I showed earlier. You can see I'm getting rid of those air bubbles and the problem with the stuff not setting up really well. So we're going to have the clear red lenses in the kit. So we're going to start cranking more of those out. But as of right now, I had 3 of them sent over to Andy's, and hopefully you can get on there. Unless there's people that are waiting, they go quick. I'll try to make more. It takes time. So thanks for bearing with me. I'm going to have a fun-filled day of doing some model building. I got to work on my Roadrunner for the USAC build. I got to put this away. Just another distraction for my USAC build. Jeez. Why do we build model cars? 'Cause they're fun, right? Here's the producer.